Did you know that the average American household spends over $18,000 a year on non-essential items? That's money spent on things like trendy clothes, gadgets we don't need, and impulsive buys we regret later. In fact, research shows that 60% of people make purchases they don't plan for, and most of them feel guilty afterward. What if I told you that you don't have to keep wasting your hard-earned cash like this? In this video, we're diving into how you can stop overspending and start making mindful purchases that actually add value to your life. We'll explore simple strategies that can help you break free from impulse buying and clutter. From setting boundaries to embracing quality over quantity, you'll discover how small changes can lead to big savings and a much more peaceful, focused life. Ready to take control of your spending and live with purpose? Let's get started. Chapter 1. The true cost of clutter. How excessive spending wastes more than money. Let's face it, we all love to shop. But have you ever stopped to think about the hidden costs behind every purchase? Buying things that don't add real value to our lives can cost us much more than just money. It drains our time, energy, and mental space. According to a study by the National Association of Professional Organizers, 80% of what we own is never used. Imagine the cost of maintaining all those unused items, money spent on storage, cleaning, and even repairs. Clutter can also affect our mental well-being. Researchers have found that a messy environment can increase stress levels, making it harder to focus. According to the Journal of Environmental Psychology, clutter has a direct correlation with increased anxiety. The more we buy, the more we have to organize, clean, and worry about. Over time, that adds up to a whole lot of unnecessary stress. When you embrace minimalism, you start seeing the real cost of excess. It's not just about having less, it's about gaining more space, both in your home and mind. By reducing your purchases to only the essentials, you stop adding weight to your life, literally and figuratively. The act of buying with intention leads to a sense of freedom. You get to live with less, but experience more. Chapter 2. The 30-Day Test. A minimalist's challenge to break impulse buying. One of the best ways to break the cycle of impulse buying is to commit to a simple but powerful challenge, the 30-Day No-Purchase Test. This isn't about depriving yourself, it's about gaining clarity on your true needs. The idea is simple. For 30 days, don't buy anything that isn't essential. You'll be amazed at how many things you think you need, but actually don't. Research from Deloitte shows that nearly 60% of all purchases are impulse buys. That's a huge chunk of our spending habits. When we make purchases in the heat of the moment, it's often driven by emotions or external triggers. In the 30-Day Challenge, you'll be forced to pause and reflect on every purchase. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Will it add lasting value to my life? During this test, you'll likely encounter strong temptations, but it's the perfect time to practice self-control. The key is to give yourself time to decide. Studies have shown that when you delay a purchase for 24 hours, you're less likely to buy it. This simple strategy allows you to filter out unnecessary purchases and focus on what truly matters. By the end of the month, you may notice that many of the things you thought you needed aren't so important after all. This shift in mindset helps you reframe your relationship with money and possessions. It's not about living with nothing, it's about living with purpose. Chapter 3. Quality over quantity. The art of investing in timeless pieces. In a world of fast fashion and disposable goods, it's easy to get caught up in the idea that we need to buy more. But a minimalist approach encourages a different mindset, quality over quantity. Instead of buying multiple cheap items, invest in a few well-made, timeless pieces that will serve you for years to come. Think about it. When you choose quality, you're not only saving money in the long run, you're reducing waste. The Environmental Protection Agency, EPA, reports that in 2018, the U.S. alone generated 17 million tons of textile waste, most of it from fast fashion. These disposable items often end up in landfills, contributing to pollution. By choosing high-quality, durable items, you're doing your part to reduce waste and protect the planet. The minimalist approach to quality also means selecting things that truly serve a purpose. If you buy something, make sure it adds value to your life. For example, instead of buying several cheap shoes each year, invest in one high-quality pair that you can wear for years. The same goes for clothing, furniture, and even gadgets. The famous designer Vivienne Westwood once said, "Buy less, choose wisely, make it last." This simple but powerful quote encapsulates the minimalist mindset perfectly. Investing in timeless pieces may cost more upfront, but in the long term, it pays off by saving you money and reducing the clutter in your life. In fact, research from The Atlantic shows that when people purchase fewer but higher quality items, they report a greater sense of satisfaction. It's not about accumulating more stuff, but about owning things that truly enrich your life. Quality items also tend to be more versatile, lasting through trends and seasons. By choosing quality, you're investing not just in products, but in a simpler, more intentional lifestyle. The more we can focus on meaningful purchases, the less we'll need to buy overall. A minimalist mindset encourages us to pause before we buy and ask, will this bring lasting value into my life? Chapter 4. The Power of No. Setting boundaries to avoid financial pitfalls. One of the hardest things to do in a world full of sales and promotions is to say no to things we don't need. But mastering the art of saying no is one of the most powerful tools for controlling your spending. It's not about rejecting everything, but about setting boundaries to protect your wallet and your values. Saying no can be incredibly freeing. It empowers you to take control of your financial future. In fact, the average American is exposed to over 4,000 advertisements every single day. This constant bombardment encourages us to buy things we might not even need. Whether it's a sale at your favorite store or a limited time offer online, these external pressures can quickly lead to impulse purchases. But here's the truth. You don't need to say yes to every offer that comes your way. Setting financial boundaries is a key strategy in avoiding overspending. Start by identifying areas where you are most vulnerable. Is it clothing sales, gadgets, or new home decor? Knowing your weak spots helps you create specific rules for yourself. For example, you could set a rule that you will never buy clothes during a sale unless you have already planned for them in your budget. Dr. Diana K.L. Peterson, a behavioral scientist, says, "The art of saying no lies in understanding the costs behind each choice." Every time you say yes to something unnecessary, you're saying no to something more important, like saving for future goals or investing in experiences that matter. The more you practice saying no, the easier it gets, and the more money you'll save. It's also essential to say no to peer pressure. How often have you bought something just because your friends or family encouraged you? Social influence plays a huge role in our purchasing decisions. According to a study published in the Journal of Consumer Research, people are more likely to buy items when they see others making similar purchases. But remember, just because others are buying doesn't mean you have to. By setting boundaries, you make the decision to prioritize your values over external influences. Over time, you'll find that you don't just save money, you gain clarity on what truly matters in your life. Saying no becomes a tool for aligning your spending with your minimalist goals. Chapter 5. Mindful Moments. Cultivating gratitude and satisfaction without the purchase. A huge part of reducing overspending is learning how to find joy and satisfaction without constantly reaching for your wallet. This doesn't mean that you can't enjoy shopping at all, but rather, you learn to find contentment in the things you already have. Mindfulness plays a crucial role in this. According to a study by Harvard University, practicing mindfulness helps reduce impulsive behavior, including overspending. The study showed that mindfulness techniques, such as focusing on the present moment and being aware of your thoughts, can decrease the desire to buy things out of habit or emotional need. When you're mindful of your feelings, you can recognize when you're shopping to fill an emotional gap, and take a step back before buying. Gratitude is another powerful tool in breaking the cycle of overspending. A 2016 study in the Journal of Positive Psychology found that people who practice gratitude are less likely to engage in materialistic behaviors. The more grateful we are for what we have, the less likely we are to chase after the next big purchase. When you focus on what you already own, you start to appreciate it more, which reduces the urge to buy new things. You don't need to own a lot of stuff to be happy. In fact, studies show that happiness comes from experiences, not possessions. A survey conducted by Cornell University found that people are more satisfied with experiences, like travel or dining out, than with material possessions. Experiences create lasting memories, while possessions often only bring short-term satisfaction. By practicing mindfulness and gratitude, you shift your focus from what's missing to what you already have. This subtle shift in mindset can be incredibly powerful in reducing unnecessary spending. You'll find that you don't need to buy something new to feel content. You just need to look at your life and appreciate the small, everyday moments. Chapter 6. Rewriting the Script. Minimalist Habits to Transform Your Financial Future. The final step in becoming a mindful spender is transforming your habits. Minimalism isn't a one-time fix. It's a long-term shift in how you approach money, possessions, and consumption. By rewriting your financial script, you can create lasting change and avoid falling back into old spending patterns. Start by tracking your spending habits. Knowing exactly where your money goes is the first step in gaining control over your finances. A NerdWallet survey found that the average American spends over $1,500 a year on non-essential items, like takeout meals, subscriptions, and impulse buys. Tracking your spending can help you identify patterns and areas where you can cut back. Once you've identified areas to improve, start small. Minimalism is about taking tiny, consistent steps that add up over time. For example, you could begin by unsubscribing from emails that encourage spending, or you could create a wish list for items you're thinking about buying. Wait 30 days before purchasing any non-essential items. By giving yourself time to reflect, you'll often realize that you don't need the item at all. Budgeting is another key habit to adopt. A U.S. bank survey found that nearly 60% of Americans don't have a budget. Without one, it's easy to overspend without realizing it. Creating a budget isn't about restricting yourself, it's about making intentional choices with your money. It helps you align your spending with your values and prioritize what really matters. Finally, consider the long-term rewards of minimalist habits. As you continue to make mindful purchasing decisions, you'll build wealth and security for the future. You'll have the freedom to invest in experiences, pay off debt, or save for important goals like buying a house or retiring early. Minimalism isn't just about cutting back, it's about building a life that's aligned with your financial goals and values. By rewriting your financial script and making these minimalist habits a part of your daily life, you create a future where overspending is no longer a temptation. Instead, you can enjoy the peace that comes with mindful purchases, financial stability, and a life filled with purpose. If you found these tips helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you won't miss any of our future videos.